Welcome back, guys, to an episode of the Gaming Kitchen. Uh, Tonight, um, I wanted to share this project with you guys as it's almost near the end. Um, you're looking at Municipal Stadium, which is also called Baltimore Stadium, which was also called Babe Ruth Stadium. So, um, there was a time when Real Stadium was not um, the occupier of 33rd Street. So this right here, this right here was the original stadium that was located on East 33rd Street, called Municipal Stadium, Venerable Stadium, and also called Babe Ruth Stadium. So I wanted to take the liberty to show you guys what I have been working on as I finish up on the stadium series, the Baltimore Sports Stadium series. As you see, I have worked really hard, effortless in some aspects to produce some of the best um, authentic experience that you can get historically. So this was a stadium that was not built for baseball. It was built for football. It was built in 1922. Hosted a lot of Army-Navy games. And on top of that, housed the baseball team, the International League Orioles, from 1944 until 1950. So when Oriole Park 5 burned down, which, by the way, I wanted to show, that's it back there in that dirt mound. That's like rubble and stuff. So I wanted to have a little bit of continuity here. So in 1944, the Orioles, not the Baltimore Orioles, not the professional Baltimore Orioles, but the minor league Orioles, decided to move to this stadium after its owner came back from World War II to realize that, wow, like, my ballpark is gone. So they used it as a rallying cry to get themselves a ballpark. The show had to go on, so they managed to get into Municipal Stadium, at the time called Venerable Stadium, and the rest is history. They stayed there. The Orioles stayed there until the minor league stayed there until 1954, when the St. Louis Browns decided to bring baseball to major leagues. So when Baltimore Stadium had served its purpose, it was passed for construction, and then afterwards, Memorial Stadium was built, which you can see in my construction version of Memorial Stadium, the earlier build. So that is there if you wish to see and play. So right now I'm finishing up on this version right here. I got some touching up stuff to do. Have to figure out like what I want to use and everything. So there is a couple of, let's see right here. I wish you could edit the size of the lettering, but you can't. So I try to replicate it as much as possible. Baltimore Stadium at the time had it was built inside the hill, um, so there's not really much you can do about that um, in this game wise. So I try to replicate it as best as possible. Some of the stuff is not going to be accurate. I'm still trying to find out the dimensions to the baseball field, which I'll get tonight. For some reason, like even when you type in Municipal Stadium for this game, like you just can't find it for some reason. It's really it's a wild goose chase. Some pictures you see it has a ring of trees surrounding the stadium. Other pictures you don't see trees surrounding the ballpark. So I don't know. You find yourself doing multiple eras of the same stadium and ballpark when you don't have proper information. That's what happened with Oriole Park 5. That's why I said, I'm just going to make that version, and if you want to play with it, fine. But the dimensions don't add up to me. At least the dimensions don't add up to the outline of it, to the way the stadium looks, the way the ballpark looks. It's basically in a square. It's an awkward square. How would dimensions that are like 320, 220 here, and all that stuff add up to that? That doesn't compute. So, yeah, that's what I have been dealing with and working on from time to time. I'm about to wrap up on this one, and I just wanted to show. There's nothing much here. You don't have any. You don't have any bars. You don't have any jumbotrons or anything like that. This was built in a time when people just would sit on wooden benches and just enjoy the game. They didn't really have all that technology and all that stuff back then. Photos are very hard to come by. I suggest anybody who wants to replicate historical ballparks, go to digitalballparks.com or Google digital ballparks. You will find very high resolution, high definition pictures from 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. It's fantastic how all this stuff is. So, hopefully you guys get in on that and try to explore some historical stuff. Not many people know about this stadium. This stadium is one of many that's in Baltimore's history of stadiums that have been around for quite some time and occupied the same space as Memorial Stadium did a long time ago, almost 100 years ago. So, make sure to put the old school there, which is now Johns Hopkins, an extension off of Johns Hopkins. So, 1921 first version. So let's see what we have here. 1950 single deck. Right. First deck. Combined. Single deck. We do have a municipal stadium, but it's for Kansas City. Camden Yards. Yeah, he doesn't even have them. Okay, here we go. Municipal Stadium, also known as Venerable Stadium. So, here we go. 1944. Look at that, in real time, you find what you want. So, let's, alright, let's do this. No. I want to change the property. So this is Municipal Stadium, 1944 to 1949. 1949. 1922, 480. Keep my changes. All right, let's go change this thing. Now, if you notice, this is shaped in the opposite direction. It's facing outward, as opposed to the original. So, I would like to add a few more trees or something here. Just something that creates a barrier before all this. All right, that's good enough. So there's a press box on each side of this thing. There's I want to at least edit the yeah, 1944 to 1950. Babe Ruth Plaza. All right. Municipal Stadium, also known as Venerable Stadium, also known as Babe Ruth. So it went by a lot of names. So what I want to do is change this. By the way, you guys can learn how to manipulate a lot of your stuff by some random building. I guess I can take this tree. Here we go with the memory. Memory doing what memory does, I suppose. Alright, here we go. Let's see, I got a couple of things I need to edit first. A lot of it's the illusion. The illusion of a lot of it is the illusion of if anybody's wondering how I built this, it's very clever. I didn't think about it. I took one of these and I just built it around in marble. It's a beautiful stadium. This recreation doesn't do it justice. I suggest you look up, if you're ever interested, look up Baltimore Municipal Stadium and take a look at the facade of it. It's very Romanesque, you know. It's very much so in the style in which they did the 20s type of architecture. It was very neo-Romanism, you know, if that's a word. probably is not. But I want to get up here and I want to get this. I want to get this straightened out because it, it's so it's. Excuse me. All right, let's get this out of here. So what's our problem with this? Let's take a look at what the issue is. We probably have too many tiles. All right. Yeah, Baltimore had actually Max. Baltimore had a whole bunch of ballparks in the early 20th century. Oriole Park had six different versions of it. The sixth version, excuse me, now is Oriole Park at Camden Yards. So the Baltimore Orioles overall, in different variations of its versions, had 6 different ballparks. Oriole Park 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Oriole Park 5 was known as Terrapin Park because it was home to a baseball team called the Baltimore Terrapins. See, because in between that time, Baltimore didn't have a professional Major League Baseball team. It was kind of like the way it was with football. You know, when the Colts left in 1984, you had the Baltimore Stars, you had the Baltimore Stars that didn't play in Memorial Stadium. They played in Bird Stadium down in College Park. And then you had like some USFL, which was them. Then you had the CFL that came in the mid-90s, and then you had the Ravens. So it was the same thing with baseball. The Baltimore Orioles were a professional baseball team back in the early 1900s. That was the first baseball club. That club moved to New York, became the New York Highlanders, and then became what we know today as the New York Yankees. And in between that time, the Orioles were farm teams, they were minor league teams and stuff, but the fans here loved the baseball team. And so this right here, which is not a very gracious representation of it. It was more so of a horseshoe, but this is as best as I could get out of it. But this ballpark right here, this stadium, was built for football, built in 1922. It went by Venerable Stadium, Venerable Stadium, Babe Ruth Stadium, probably near like the 40s after he passed away. But it was done so accordingly. And so when the minor league Orioles came to this ball club, to this stadium, they changed the outfield and everything. It's kind of like when the Dodgers moved to LA Coliseum. Like it just wasn't baseball friendly. It wasn't built for baseball. It was built for football. And so Municipal Stadium housed Army Navy games, City Poly games, and everything like that. And that's pretty much how it got to where it's at now, where it became home to these Orioles until 1950, when they were doing construction. They were literally doing construction around the they were doing construction around the minor league team while they were playing ball. So that's the story. And then Memorial Stadium got built, and the rest is history. The crazy thing about it is that it's built at opposite ends. Venerable Stadium, Baltimore Stadium right here, was built facing, the facade of it was facing this, while the playing field was facing the street. Memorial Stadium was built in the opposite direction. White houses across the street from it. So they tore down all of this, built up a new facade, built up a new stadium and everything. Maryland really is not appreciative of its historical preservations of ballparks, apparently, as we have seen. But yep, this was a nice little surprise I wanted to show everyone. Um, it's a lot of culture, a lot of history in this city. You have a lot of ballparks that were home to the Negro Leagues, the Baltimore Elite Giants, when they were here, which I would love to do their ballpark. I would love to find their um, I love to find their Diamond Dynasty unit. So right now I'm finishing up. I have 99 to my disposal. I got a lot taken for picture's sake, which is going to be fun to do. One last thing which I'm going to do is the dimensions, and I'm going to create a Diamond Dynasty version of this, and I'm going to create an offline version of this. So if anybody wants to download the Memorial Stadium, it's there. You want to download the dead ball era baseball parks, it's right there. Have at you. I'm wrapping it up and trying to make it as good as possible for everybody. All right, now let's see what I can do here. Okay. I just need to leave well enough alone with that, and this, and then let's see here. Yeah, man, that's a long time. I don't think about it, but at that time it was old for them just as much as it is for us now. Like that was 53 years is a long time, my dude. That's a long, long time. But there's a pattern here. There's a pattern. Um, it's the same exact thing that we went through to get the Ravens. Same exact way. And if you look at Washington's story, Washington is the same. They suffer the same exact stuff that we suffered with the Senators. You know, it's crazy, but that's just it's hard to get teams. And during that period, 1950s, a lot of the East Coast teams were going west. The St. Louis Browns were the one team that decided to go east. And as they say, the rest is history. They decided to come to Baltimore. All right, there we go. Gotta be very careful with this because you don't want to mess them up. See, like that? I don't want to do that. Yep, they don't do that no more. Back then, you had so many baseball teams that was moving and creating, and the same thing with the NFL was the same exact way.